What shot do you give the Cowboys of winning the NFC and going to the Super Bowl?
You can tell my friend Morris Chestnut, wherever he might be right now, that on a scale of 1 to 10, I give my Dallas Cowboys, Morris, an 8 to make it all the way to the Super Bowl.
An 8.
A prediction that sounded outlandish when we made that movie theater commercial Morris and I made before the year started, and I said the Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. 8 on a scale of 10. Now, I have one asterisk that I have to throw in, one caveat, and that is if Jerry doesn't screw up the quarterback situation. But if the stars stay healthy, the stars, now we got a couple of near stars in Morris Claiborne and Barry Church who are going to be out for a while, maybe Morris Claiborne for the rest of the year, and that's a pretty big loss, actually. But if the superstar players, the skill players stay healthy, I see my Cowboys finishing 12-4, which would mean they would finish out the year 6-3. And I think, by my standards, I'm being overly objective and maybe even overly conservative with 6-3 down the stretch. Mm-hmm. But you have criticized me before in this show for excluding the Minnesota Vikings from our NFC contender discussions. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, I just don't believe. I didn't believe before last night. I didn't believe before they got waxed at Philadelphia. I'm sorry, you got Sam Bradford, who can be Sam Badford behind a shaky offensive line with little to no running game, and one good receiver and mediocre other receivers. And
but you did believe Minnesota was a playoff team, just not a serious contender.
No, not a serious contender, because you would get on me. You're not putting them at the top of the list in the discussion? Mm-hmm. Nope, I'm not. I do respect what Matt Ryan is doing in Atlanta, but I do not respect what his defense is unable to do.
Right.
So I'm going to push them to the side. That leaves me with the team that you picked to go to the Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks. Do they have issues in their offensive line? Are they having a hard time protecting Russell Wilson, who's a beat-up quarterback? You got it. Do I think their defense is playing at quite as high a level as I've seen it play in the past? I don't. But I still fear the Seattle Seahawks. I think it's going to come down to Dallas and Seattle. That was my prediction in the NFC Championship game. And it just depends on where will it be played, up in Seattle or at Jerry World. And I'm going to say 12-4 gets it to Jerry World, because I've got the Seahawks finishing 11-4. Remember, they got their tie now and 1. 11-4-1. The Seahawks do. But I need them to lose 2 games down the stretch. One at Tom Brady, and the other, you ready for this?
Yeah.
At Aaron Rodgers. Aaron, I need you on December 11th. I need you to come through for me and beat the Seahawks to give my Cowboys home field playoff advantage over the Seahawks. That's what I think is going to happen. I have Dallas over Seattle in the NFC Championship game to get Morris Chestnut to the Super Bowl. Thank you.
Now you're asking Aaron Rodgers for
I am, for a big favor, because we're buds. We're friends.
Joy.
Hey, have I not been on the bandwagon all these years, Aaron? Come on, you got to pay me back for all that support.
You're asking Aaron
Rodgers.
No. Bleeping
yes,
Rodgers.
Aaron bleeping Rodgers. I need a big favor on December 11th at Lambeau. He can do it at Lambeau.
Look, if you didn't know better, I have the same thing. What kind of chance you give the Cowboys the NFC? I said they're 4-5. But if Jerry were to come out and name that...
Wait, 4-5 means what?
I give him a 4 or a 5.
4 or 5 to get there. Okay,
right.
I got it.
But if Jerry were to come out and says Dak Prescott is the Dallas Cowboys starter, I'll move that up to 7.5.
Whew. Okay.
That's what I would be willing to do.
You know what? I like that. I buy that.
Right now, I think they would have to be the favorite. I think Atlanta would pose a bigger problem than you think, because I think Atlanta's offense is dynamic, because they can run the football. It just depends on how soon Coleman's going to get back from that hamstring. Devontae Freeman has done a great job running the football. Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, I like, because Matt Ryan is a veteran quarterback, and they have big play potential on that side of the football. My concerns are also like yours. How well can their front hold up against that Cowboy rushing attack? That would concern me. And again, it's probably going to be played in Jerry World, because Atlanta's already lost 3 games. We were talking about Minnesota, and everybody was telling me, look at Adrian Peterson. He had done nothing the first 2 games. They'll be just fine without Adrian Peterson. I'm like, oh, really? They're fine without Adrian Peterson? I mean, averaging 3 yards a carry. 2.6 yards per carry. They got 54 last night. Now they're the 31st ranked rush attack. Only the Giants are worse. Mm-hmm. And Sam Bradford. I told you he's like a banquet chair. He'll fold. Hey, you know our banquet chairs at the end of the night when the party's over, they fold them up. That's what he'll do. You saw that.
Especially if you give him little to no protection. He just folds.
Skip, let me ask you a question. In your 40 years, how many times you seen even a good quarterback move three teams in 2 years? How many times you ever seen that in your 40-year career? That's what happened.
Three teams.
Three teams.
I've seen two teams a lot.
Three
not
teams
three.
in 2 years.
Yep.
That's what Sam Bradford is. And if you looked at, I thought he saw a ghost last night because the eyes got bigger and bigger.